Welcome back to Let's Talk Business. I'm Chuck Leonard, and our next local business is Spero Software. Lori, how are you?
Great.
Good. So, Lori, why don't you tell me a little bit about Spero Software?
Okay, so Spero Software is a case management software for rescue missions. Homeless shelters.
Really?
Yeah, for homeless shelters, they have recovery programs. And so our software helps them keep track of the people that they serve.
Well, that's awesome. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I've been a software developer for over 20 years, and I decided to do something to create something to help the community. And just kind of stumbled across this. The Fresno Rescue Mission called my other company, Summit Software, and asked if we could help them create software for their case management. And I had already kind of started creating Spero for nonprofits. So one thing led to another, and they convinced me there was a need for it. And so we launched our software in 2010, went to our first conference with the Association of Gospel Rescue Missions, and we have grown to 11 clients since then.
Awesome. And how does it work?
Okay, so we have a couple screenshots I'd love to show you.
I'd love to see them.
Okay, great. So I'll show you the profile, the intake. Basically, all of our forms are customizable. So as you can see on the forms there, you can keep track of addictions, you can keep track of legal matters, you can keep track of family, contact information. But everything you see on there, each mission or each organization, doesn't have to be a rescue mission, can use Spero to keep track of what's important to them.
Sure.
And to their donors and their funders, because everything you see, they can write reports from it. And so we really have focused on allowing our clients to control their environment, which is very important. And it's easier for us.
Whatever their specialty might be, right?
Exactly. So they don't have to call us and say, oh, can you add a field over here and over there? And then you have to add it to the report. So we've just enabled them to be able to do their work. And basically, it helps them to spend more time with people than in paperwork.
That's awesome. What else do you have?
Well, we actually have a really great, exciting new feature that I don't think the other companies have yet.
Ooh, let's hear it.
It's ID scan cards.
Ooh.
And so this is our Bradley. He's our mascot. He's very cute. He's not a real person in a shelter. We designed these cards. Fresno Rescue Mission has been kind of a leading organization to help us with new ideas and test everything out for us. Thank you, Fresno Rescue Mission, because it's not easy being the test site. And so these cards allow the missions to do so many things. It allows the missions to, when they come into the overnight shelter, they scan the card. If there's any alerts on the person, it can pop up and let them know.
Alerts, medicines needed, or
no warrants out for their arrest.
Oh, those kind of alerts.
Yeah, more like they're not supposed to be down there.
Okay.
The police have been looking for them, and so it pops up and says there's an alert, and then the person behind the desk can plan accordingly. We have reports and things like that for medication.
Right.
So we don't want to always alerts to pop up. So these are pretty high level alerts. We do plan on building in some more customizable alerts for maybe things like that. So those are really fun. So they can scan in all the attendants at the overnight shelters. It'll check to see if they have a bed assignment. They can scan in all the classes that they take. So in the recovery program, they take Bible study classes, they take financial management classes, they take parenting classes, all kinds of different classes. They're busy in the recovery programs.
So this isn't just helping the mission itself, but it's helping the person.
Oh, yes.
Because keeping track of all that stuff can't be easy for them either.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we just built a new feature that allows them to schedule all their appointments for if they're going off to offsite visits, because they stay busy. Their job is to get well and get back into the community. And so they have to go to all their court dates. They have to, see the doctor. They have sometimes family counseling meetings they go to, and then a lot of classes. And so one of the things we've just built is a calendar for them. So you can go in there and you can print a calendar for each person, or you can print a calendar for everyone in your program at once.
With one click of the mouse.
Pretty much, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really great. And so another use for the scan cards is, Fresno Rescue Mission is using scan cards a lot for all their classes. They're fully functional. And when you scan the card, it pops up with a big picture of the person. So they can't trade cards with each other, because the guy behind him is going to go, hey, dude, you're not John. Right? You're Bill. Don't be doing that, because it'll mess things up for everybody. And so they use it for that. But one of the biggest uses that they have for it is they have a monitor up in the front desk area. And every time somebody goes to an off-site appointment or to a family pass, an overnight pass, a weekend pass, they have to sign out of the mission on paper and sign back in. So you can imagine what could happen on a manual paper system.
Yeah.
Bill, Joe, who, hey,
Right.
sign in for me, sign out for me, and we know what happens. And so now what happens is they scan their ID card, and it pops up and says, well, let's say their appointment was for 9 a.m. and it's 8:45.
Right.
It says, whoops, you're a little early. You need to wait till 9. And so they have to sit and wait. Yeah, it's great. And so then at 9 o'clock they scan out. Then when they scan back in, if they scan in late, they don't know this yet, but an email, we just got this in place, goes to a case manager that's been assigned to them.
Wow.
And so, or all the case managers. So as soon as Joe signs in at 10 o'clock when he was supposed to be back at 9, he doesn't even know it, but his case manager is going to get a text message or email message to let them know it was a late check-in.
Wow. And so not only is this good for that, it's good for safety, isn't it?
It is. And also we know they can run a report to see who's off-site. So if there was a fire or something like that, they could run and it's web-based. And so they could run the report from another building or any place with internet and see who was actually in the building or who wasn't in the building at the time. And so, yeah, it's a great safety tool as well. The scan cards, I have 2 missions that are using scan cards. I just found out one day, they called me and said, hey, we just want to had a couple questions about these scan cards. And it's a downtown rescue mission in Huntsville, Alabama. I hope I'm saying these right. And Billings, Montana rescue mission. They have issued scan cards to the entire community, and they serve meals to all of the community. You don't even have to stay at the shelter or be in the program. And so they've got scan cards all over the city, and the police like it too because it's good for identification.
Sure.
And so so they scan in all their meals, and they're just using it to the highest level. It's very exciting.
That is very exciting.
Yeah.
Now, what about these vouchers?
Okay, so the vouchers, another use for scan cards, and everything you use a scan card for, you can also do manually. You can type in their name instead of scanning the card. Okay. So you don't have to have scan cards. The vouchers, this is probably, I think I'm most excited about this. Most of the rescue missions own thrift stores.
Right.
Okay. And then also community churches and other business organizations offer services and items and goods to the people that are at the mission. So they can go to the mission and get a voucher and say, I'm going to get 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of shoes, church shoes, dress shoes, however they categorize it. And that goes into the Spero system. And then they go down to the thrift store and they scan their card or type in their name, and it shows them everything they're going to get. And if they just get 1 pair of shoes, it credits them back for a pair so they can come back later.
That is awesome.
And then the vendor can run their own reports as well. And so at this point, they don't have to be a Spero client because they're offering these services. So they get a login for free, but that's all they can do with the software.
And they get compensated for what
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Great.
I definitely know nobody has that feature so far.
That's awesome.
So,
now, you have something else that you wanted to talk about, and that was the apps?
Well, actually, that says appointments, but we do have apps.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that. Okay. I forgot about that.
All right.
See, we have so many great new things I keep forgetting. We do have apps. You can download the attendance manager from iTunes or iPhone or on the Android.
Okay.
And then instead of having to have a computer with a handheld scanner, you can scan with your phone.
Wow.
So when volunteers come into the missions and they're teaching a class, we give them logins because they can't see any confidential data.
Sure.
So we give them logins and they just scan the cards in, and we have automatic attendance.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So that's very exciting as well. And one of our newest features that is starting development in July, I'm kind of addicted to development, can't stop.
Sounds like you're doing great at it.
Oh my gosh, we've done so much in the last 4 months, it's crazy. But what we're doing is we're building an entire volunteer module system. So volunteers can go online to the website. We'll have a plugin. You saw those custom forms earlier?
Sure.
Okay. So they can design their form, what they want the volunteer to fill out, and then they can publish it to their website. And volunteers can log in, create an account, keep their information up to date, and sign up for opportunities. And then they can also use scan cards to track their time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very...
This is all really automated. This is something I never would have thought would be at the rescue mission.
Well, the thing about rescue missions now is they've completely changed their way of doing business. Even in the overnight shelter, these people get case managed now. They don't just come in there and sleep and eat. They're automatically, most missions are assigned to a case manager. They go to a job search. They have money savings programs.
Right.
They help them do their resumes, and they're serious about helping people. So they're ready for this technology, which is great for Spero Software.
Does it save them money?
It does save them money. But time is money, right?
Right.
Okay, so if it takes me 2 hours to go dig in files to run a report, and I take my hourly rate, it takes me 2 seconds to click it, I've just saved time. It's all man hours, right? But I think more important than money, I think that what makes me excited is it just, like I think I said this earlier, it gives them more time to spend with the people. And social work doesn't pay a lot, right? So,
Not what it should.
you have these counselors in there, they're working really hard. They all do it because they care and they have a passion. They're not doing it for the money and glamour. And so for me, watching them, the load coming off of them and allowing them to just have everything at their fingertips, is really special and important to me.
And it seems to me that it's pretty easy to use, isn't it?
It's very user-friendly.
Right.
I get very few training calls. Typically what I get is, we do something a little differently, so what tool in Spero can we use? And once you show it to them one time, they got it. They've got it,
right?
Yeah, so a volunteer
Awesome.
can come on, and yeah, it's great.
Awesome. Well, Lori, I want to thank you for coming on. It was
thanks for
so
having
nice
me.
to finally meet you. I think you're doing a great thing for the community, and I hope to have you back on real soon.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
This is Let's Talk Business, and we will see you next Thursday at 1 p.m.